Hello everybody, welcome back to the NASCAR Vernors Cup Series. Today's race is actually going to be the correct number of laps, unlike last night's Truck Series race. Otherwise this race would have been about 25% longer than it should have been. This race being none other than the Hardee's 400. We got a great lineup for you today. We have a line there that should not exist. There we go, that looks a lot more professional. As you can see, this is one of the most interesting lineups I've seen. So let's go through it all. And so you see your lineup for today's race. We had 47 cars enter. Means 5 went home. On the pole, Brian Wilson looking for his second career win. He won at Phoenix, aka ISM, aka Phoenix, earlier in this year. He's also looking, since he's in the top 35 in points, he wouldn't miss next week if he wins today like he did that time. Alongside of him is the defending champion, Harrison Ford. Tom Jones missed out on what would have been his 5th pole of the year. I swear, he's won of like a bajillion of them. So he's starting next to one of our part-time drivers, Woody Woodpecker. Not Woody Woodpecker. It's Woodpecker Racing Car, but has Rick Mast behind the wheel. Carl Edwards, who hasn't been in all the races so far, but he's attempted every one. That's the segue there. He's going to start next to a true part-time driver, the guy whose car Carl Edwards was in last year. The Rush Fender Racing 50 is dusted off for a driver to make his NASCAR actually debut. It's Scott Roush. Then the winner of the Richmond winner last year. I can't say the guy who won this race because this race took a hiatus last year. However, it is back this year, taking the second Dover date, as Al Roker will line up in 8th position. Hank Hill and Ian Anderson will round out the top 10. Then it will be Count Dracula. We'll start next to Stephen George. John Cena won this race in 2018, the last time it was even held. He'll start next to Kathy Bates. Then it's Hut Strickland starting 15th, alongside of him in 16th, the worst qualified of all 3 part-time drivers that attempted this week. All 3 made it. It's Dave Marcis in the Team Realtree. Marcis, Auto Racing number 71. Oh gosh, you can actually see him. Can't see his wingtip shoes though. There's Snoop Dogg. The DOGG will line up next to Jeff Lynne. Denzel Washington rounding out, I believe, the top 20 next to Geddy Lee. There's Joe Biden. He's next to Peter Perfect. Jerry Springer will be next to Woody Woodpecker. The 2018 Series champion Richard Simmons will line up next to Woody Harrelson. And the 2018 spring winner here, Walter White, lines up next to rookie David Dayton. Then it's Iggy Koopa. I could have sworn that name said Koopa Troopa. The lineup next to Bob Ross. Rick Scott will be next to Al Capone. Alfred Hitchcock, Bela Fleck. Telly Savalas next to Donald Fagen. Crow is second in points alongside third in points Brendan Gaughan. Then Morgan Freeman, 36th in points. Grover Cleveland, Billy Mays, Marco Polo all round out the field as we go trackside for the most famous words in all motorsports. Okay, you're so bored. If you were the same guy who did it every week. If we just stacked to one guy, you'd probably get fired. I believe Kathy Bates won here earlier this year. That was the Crown Royal presents the Tetsu 400. This is the Hardee's 400. A little bit easier. Rolls off the tongue a little better. Make sure to stay hydrated, folks. I mean, at all times, I guess. I've probably been more helpful for the spring race because the hot months would have been heading towards us, but now they're all over. Same as the pace cars, tyranny over the racetrack over. Brian Wilson will bring the field to the green flag. Actually, it was Harrison Ford who had his nose out in front first at the start of the Hardee's 400. Brian Wilson, intense push. His teammate Tom Jones just shove in the back. That 48 right into the lead, trying to get by the 97. He will clear off the fourth and final corner. Brian Wilson will lead. Keno, everybody talks about how Talladega start finish line. Oh, it's not in the tri-oval. It's past the tri-oval. It's not centered. Well, Richmond's isn't either, as you can see from a spectator cam. Not that well. It's actually towards the beginning. Speaking of towards the beginning, we're towards the beginning of the race in the pace car. Rick Scott. We see Grover Cleveland's dented up. The entire field trying to shake themselves out. Already Morgan Freeman has made the trip down pit road and he is out of the race. What on earth has happened? We are going to have to find out what on earth happened to Morgan Freeman as a terrible run this season just continues. So it's going to happen around here. Rick Scott, Telly Savalas looked like try to get under Rick Scott. And then try to slide behind him. This is probably your best view for seeing exactly what happened. As we have a helicopter track, this Regal Parts 92, as you can see. Oh, yeah, you just hooked. I think it was an accident. He hooks the O2 of Rick Scott. Scott down the track. He just tank slaps his way into Grover Cleveland and the 16 of Marco Polo. Oh, Billy Mays. Oh, no wonder why. Billy Mays is involved. Crow with a bit of damage. That is championship implications. A 7-car accident. I think it's a 7-car. I don't know. A Crow. I don't think Crow actually got anything. This might be a 6-car accident. Here we go. As we go through turns 1 and 2 on board, Crow T Robot in the 1. Second in points, looking for the points lead. Just looking to try to make a way. He didn't hit anything. That was great wreck avoidance by the 1. Fortunately, he could not get by the 42. What are you doing, Rick Scott? I still don't know what he was doing. Oh! Tank slaps the 45. I think Grover Cleveland might have the best shot at this. Just suddenly into the wall. Down the track. Bouncing. See what looks like one of the sons of Tatooine. Very early in the race. Doesn't look like anybody is going to come down. Probably not even this lap. Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson is bringing it down pit road. Grover Cleveland, massive damage. He's going to bring it down. Huh. No clue. Oh, yeah, I forgot there was a Woody Harrelson on the... Oh, boy. Third of 4 night races in a row. Michigan 2 weeks ago. Bristol last week. Richmond this week. We're going to Darlington for a throwback race next week. That should be pretty spicy. Brian Wilson, a lot more experience than he was. He's still a rookie, but he's a long way from the driver who won earlier this year. He was actually the points leader at that point, and then he missed, I think, like the next 2 races. Speaking of points leaders, Joe Biden's in 18th. Brendan Gaughan was barely 2 races, within a race. Tom Hanks was just literally, if he was 1 point less, he's 2 full races behind. You need 2 perfect races. You need to lead the most laps and win both here in Darlington. And you need Joe Biden to finish dead last without leading laps either race. And that's not going to happen. Tom Hanks will not be the points leader coming out of Darlington because Morgan Freeman is out of this race. Crazy to think. There's only like 7 drivers. And Crow and Gaughan are going to have to work their way through the field. We're going to go back green on lap 8 here in the Hardee's 400. Brian Wilson, Tom Jones, Harrison Ford, Carl Edwards, Scott Roush, Rick Mast, Tom Hanks, Hank Hill, Count Dracula, and John Cena. That's definitely a top 10 unique to this season, seeing as how some of these guys have never made starts in the series before. Brian Wilson, in particular, Count Dracula, and Scott Roush is making his debut. I don't know why he doesn't have the rookie designation. You can see Cleveland coming off of 2 as the pace car ducks down pit road. Brian Wilson leading us back to green. As we are back racing. Cleveland, a lack of speed already, you can see. He's not even getting in the 4th. Interesting. Scott Roush already going for 4th place. And Carl Edwards. Grover Cleveland in the pit road to repair damage. I don't know why he didn't just do that again under caution. It's a long, lengthy pit stop to repair damage on this 45 crew. As you can see, the field making their way, just zooming around. As you can see, there's Wawa. Don't let Anderson Reed see that. Lot of damage repaired. A 41-second stop as he's coming around. He's going to get put 3 laps in arrears. Scott Roush up to third around Harrison Ford. He's the supposed defending champion. Now he's just got 2 musicians to work on, and he's got to work on the Welsh one first. Three and a half laps down runs Grover Cleveland. Crow, Brendan Gaughan, those are championship contenders. Where are some of the other ones running at this moment? The 60, not the 62. Woody Woodpecker in the 21. He's going for 26th on Jeff Lynn. That's good. He's 4th in points. What about Ian Anderson, who's 5th? There he is. He's fighting. He's about to lose 18th to Walter White. Stephen George, is he even in this race? He should be. If not, somebody messed up somewhere. There he is. He's in 9th. At least one of the championship. Well, Tom Hanks is another one who's having a good day. Marco Polo, well, he's several races out. He's in 8th in points, and he's running at 32nd. That's not going to help. 9th in points is Harrison Ford. He's running in 5th, trying to get back around Carl Edwards. 10th in points is the D-O-double-G. Snoop Doggy Dogg is running 11th, but he's getting attacked by Denzel Washington, who's moved into this 25 that was occupied by Hank Hill. Hill's had a very rough year in that not locked in 38, which is right ahead of him, ironically. And ironically, right ahead of Hank Hill is the guy who had the 38 last year, Stephen George. Wow, that was interesting. Carl Edwards back past Scott Roush. He's into 3rd. Grover Cleveland is not pit glitched. You love to see it. He could have probably been much better off had he actually come. And he's in the 4th gear. You love to see it. Even if he's slow. Brian Wilson still leads over Tom Jones. How are our fast lap charts? Your fastest car is Stephen George, surprisingly. Scott Roush is the next. Then it's Tom Jones. Then it's John Cena. Wow, a lot of this organization up here. The entirety of hat trick in the top 15 as Joe Biden is up here. Trying to go out around the outside. It ain't working. That's not the way you do it. Grover Cleveland puttering around. Only a straightaway separates the 45 from the 48. Denzel Washington back to 13th. Richard Simmons on the move. He's going for 15th on that 17 car of Jerry Springer. Dave Marcis with a very solid run here. It's his 5th start of the season. He's got 1 top 5 and 5 laps led on this season. He made a few starts last year. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to check my numbers real quick. So we see now, look at this. We got a change. The 97 has fallen outside the top 5 as the 98 is cracked. Welcome Rick Mast to the top 5. He's running really well. I don't know where his teammate is. The main car on that team is running in 21st. How fitting. Dave Marcis made 7 starts last year. He's made 5 this year, so he's made 12. In the past about 14 months, that is. For those of you doing the math, previously he before his mini comeback, he had a total of 883 career starts. This is 895. He just needs 5 more to become the 3rd driver in NASCAR history to crack the 900 start barrier. This is Vernors Cup Series competition only. Marcis last competed in a Vernors Cup race before last year, back when it was still called the Winston Cup Series, as Grover Cleveland has now been lapped. Marcis, tie in the Daytona, not the Junior Johnson 500, I believe, this year, broke a tie for 3rd with Terry Labonte. He's still 11 shy of Ricky Rudd with 906. And at 895, he's 290 short of the King Richard Petty. Speaking of Petty Enterprises, Grover Cleveland is now getting lapped by several lead lap cars. As Harrison Ford, last year's champion, and a driver he fought with at the end of the season for the title, Tom Hanks, get by as they fight for 6th themselves. There's John Cena. Joe Biden has disgustingly made his way up to 11th spot, as Denzel Washington continues to get railroaded on the outside. And hey, there's Dave Marcis we were just talking about. He's making his way, going to grab the 16th running slot. Brian Wilson trying to run away with this race, but he remains only 3/5 of a second ahead of his teammate Tom Jones. Carl Edwards running 3rd. Rick Mast has made it up to 4th. Scott Roush had a hot run a little bit early, but has cooled a little bit relatively. He's still running in 5th, and in the words of one Richard Petty's son, Kyle, that's incredible. Tom Hanks in the 6th now. Harrison Ford 7th. Cena 8th. Stephen George 9th. Snoop Dogg 10th. Oh, look at this. Cleveland is on the outside, but look who's stuck behind him on the outside. That is the 12 of Joe Biden. He's your points leader. Oh, an aggressive move. He's going to get to the inside. That's a championship caliber move right there by the 12. And now he's going to try and get right back by Dave Marcis, because nobody who wants a close points battle can have nice things. Crow T Robot really just trying to drive the wheels off that car, holding on to 31st as best as he can from Al Roker. Oh, 3 wide, Ian Anderson. For Denzel Washington's falling outside the top 20 now. Donald Fagan is back here. He's pressing his advantage. Oh, Geddy Lee gonna throw it in. Hut Strickland back here. Is there gonna be 3 wide? Almost 4 wide, it looked like for a second. Nearly contact between the 19 and the 99. Is the 90 gonna do anything? Strickland content to ride behind the 99, or is he? Hut Strickland peeking down low. He's going to pull out to make a pass here on lap 42. Oh, he's going to arrow push Geddy Lee up the track a bit in turn 1. Oh, Lee's going to get the better drive off, and he's going to clear it. Oh, he isn't. Yes, he is. Wow, I thought Hut Strickland was going to drill that left rear quarter panel on that Rush SKF number 99. Joe Biden's already driven back to 15th. Oh, something's gone on. Engine damage. It's Tom Jones. Oh, no. The first sign of weakness for Hat Trick Motorsports all weekend. Their second place on track driver Tom Jones blows a motor. How bad? No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's going to be very bad in terms of where he's going to finish. Yes, but he might be able to finish this race. So now Brian Wilson has a lead of over a second over new second place driver Carl Edwards, who has had a very rough season and has been mired in all sorts of bad luck, having some trouble getting in the races due to losing out on a tiebreaker for the championship in 2011 over Tony Stewart. Had he done that, he would be making a lot more races thanks to being able to use one of those valuable championship provisionals for being a past champion. There's Tom Hanks. He's returning to the track. And guess what? He's not the last car running. He's still a lap ahead of the 45. He's only 3 laps down. Only. Fortunately for him, this race seems to have cooled off, so he doesn't have a bunch of cars he can pick off attrition. 39 cars still on the lead lap. Al Roker, the last of those. Crow fading like mad. Joe Biden does nothing but pick up spots because, of course, Carl Edwards loses out on second. Now Rick Mast, who's a second and a half behind, over the line. He has never won a race. We're going to go on board for a lap or two right at the halfway point. Arcson in the turn 1. He's going about 110. No, he drops it down to about 98 at a point. Applies the throttle. Goes to 3. He's going to get it about 138. 100. He gets it down to 100, but I'm going to just power down. About 146 as he's cut in a gap. It's at around 95. It's a little bit shorter backstretch. He briefly lit up 400. 101 is what he takes through 3 and 4. He's going to be at 132 at the line. 146 is what he's doing. He's continuing to cut a gap. Tom Hanks now to 4th. You can see Scott Roush trying to shore up his running at the moment. Tom Jones and Grover Cleveland are slow. Oh. The engine damage is showing because Grover Cleveland is actually trying to unlap himself, so to speak, from Tom Jones. But they're not super slow. Anyway, Rick Mast has been doing a decent job reeling in that gap. Let's see if it continues to go down. It went up slight. Oh. He's got it down to within a second. Pit stop should come into the factor sometime tonight. Biden in the 12th because we can't have nice things. Oh, did I say pit stops were a factor? Rick Mast, the first one to start the cycle, brings it down. Anybody else? Any takers? Rick Scott, Jeff Lynn, coming on down this first time. Now Brian Wilson will pit, and Carl Edwards will assume the race lead. Other guys, Stephen George, Richard Simmons, Joe Biden. Points for the points race, you're hoping the overcut works out. Now so Carl Edwards led. Scott Roush is going to lead in his first start because Carl Edwards pit. Scott Roush is leading. Only his 58th lap completed in NASCAR competition, and it is as the race leader. That is pretty good for a debut, and it's not even Daytona, as he's going to come in. Now it's the D-O-double-G, da-da-da-da-da. Can and a half of fuel, it looks like, the call on most of the crews. I believe Snoop Dogg, the only driver that has stayed out to this point. And now he will come down the pit lane. How is everybody shaking out? There's Carl. Rick Mast is going to beat... Rick Mast beat out Brian Wilson! Oh, Joe Biden with a good stop. Yeah. You do not necessarily like to see it. But Rick Mast is your gonna be your race leader, it looks like. There's Roush. Rick Mast blows by him. So does Brian Wilson. Here comes Carl and Stephen George and Tom Hanks. I think they're all going to get by. Tom Hanks does not get by. Stephen George will clear Roush. Biden is in the 7th because Snoop Dogg is actually, he might have gotten some clear track position. This might have been a good move. Oh, contact! He's into the wall. It was a terrible move. Jerry Springer hard in the wall. No caution. Caution now is out. Oh, big problems. What is everybody doing? They're wrecking under yellow. There goes Peter Perfect around. Yeah, the leaders are in it. What a mess on the front stretch. I mean, you can't say it was a mid-cycle caution. This happened right at the end of the cycle. What on earth? Kathy Bates is going to pit. Brian Wilson is your race leader because of this. What happened? He got stuck behind lap track and he's kind of half spun. Oh, he got second at the line. Oh, I wonder if this was... We got a roof cam. He just overcooked it a little bit. Oh! A terrible crash for Count Dracula. Oh! Oh. I'm not sure what Kathy Bates was thinking. But just absolute... She just... Oh, my Lord. And look at this. Oh, that part wasn't too violent. And everybody was going, but... Oh, that was a violent crash. Did you see? Oh, I have... Oh, my... I have never seen anything like that in my life. Straight to the garage. He's gonna... To a local care facility is gonna go. A local hospital. Count Dracula is being airlifted. It's been a pretty nasty... Oh. A nasty little stretch as we... Michigan and Bristol didn't have too bad. I mean, we had some big fender benders and stuff at Bristol. I don't know if we had necessarily a nasty crash like Count Dracula had. Same with Michigan. Michigan wasn't too bad. But Watkins Glen, we had Morgan Freeman. We might still be using reserve drivers. Probably somebody who didn't make the race. Speaking of which, we never went over the DNQs. James Bond, who was 37th in points, missed the race along with Burt Reynolds, Casper the Ghost, Chick Corea, and Blaze Alexander. Brian Wilson's your race leader. Rick Mass second. Carl Edwards third. Scott Roush fourth. Stephen George fifth. And Joe Biden, Richard Simmons, Tom Hanks, John Cena, Jerry Springer. Geddy Lee, Dave Marcus, Harrison Ford, Denzel Washington, Bob Ross, Alfred Hitchcock, Donald Fagen, Rick Scott, Marco Polo, Iggy Coop. Brendan Gaughan's up to 21st, so that's some decent damage control. 36 cars on the lead lap is now, because of this, Snoop Dogg fell a lap down because of this somehow. So did Kathy Bates. We're going to miss the restart. I'm sorry, but I got to find out. Oh, that was because of that wreck. Green flag is back out. We're underway. Inside line kind of being clogged, kind of not, but yes, but no, but yes. Oh! Harrison Ford gets dumped by Denzel Washington. Caution is going to be, I would assume, out. Oh, that's interesting. Dave Marcus, I think, gained a couple spots. He just got turned. Harrison Ford got turned. Back to 36th. He was like in 12th. 13th. Oh, yeah. Look at it. Oh! Disgusting! We're going to onboard a Denzel Washington. Because just watch this. He's in He's there, and then he just keeps rubbing, and then he rubs, that was an intent wreck. I don't know. I don't know why that even happened. But that was no accident. That looked like malicious intent by Denzel Washington. Brendan Gaughan has made it up to 19th, so that caution helped, because Joe Biden is still in 6th. Stephen George is 5th. We say that before? Scott Roush is 4th. Carl Edwards 3rd. Top 9 all the same as the previous caution. So we pace here with 30 laps to go. But Dave Marcis is now in the top 10. So that's all your part-time drivers in the top 10. Jerry Springer, Geddy Lee, Alfred Hitchcock, Bob Ross, Donald Fagen, Rick Scott, Denzel Washington, Iggy Koopa, Brendan Gaughan, Jeff Lynn, your top 20. A terrible day, it looks like, for Bernie Ecclestone Incorporated, running 32nd, 33rd, and 35th. Yeah, one of their teams that are very close by is running 7th and 8th, that being Richard Simmons Racing, because they're one of those many Chevy teams under the Richard Simmons Racing banner. Heck, Dave Marcis is under said banner. Hat Trick is one of the few of the GM teams that are not. I want to say there's a technical alliance with, as seen on TV Motorsports. Or is that MVP or PVC? That might be PV. I don't even remember the team name anymore. The 10 and the 36. Of course, those are Pontiacs. We don't have to worry about that. But see, Hat Trick. Yeah, because, yeah. Be easier to count the Pontiac Chevys that aren't Hat Trick, Hat Trick, Hat Trick. I'm counting all the Chevys that aren't part of this alliance. Hat Trick. The Rush Vendor Racing. There's a Hat Trick car. I accidentally count one of these. Should be the 4th Hat Trick. Yeah, those 4 Hat Trick cars are the only ones not affiliated. Crazy, crazy stuff. Brian Wilson will lead us to green with 27 laps to go here in the Hardee's 400. All the bunch of these lap cars are sluggish. Kathy Bates. Oh, look at this! 3 wide. Temporarily. Sorting out 2 wide. Joe Biden trying to... If it wasn't for all these slow guys on the inside, he'd be in a really bad way. But of course, because it's Joe Biden, it's going to work out in his favor for once, being on the outside. You can practically hear the disgust in my voice for him just having just good luck when I want a champion. We're getting exciting racing at least. Roush up to third now. Brian Wilson is this top five consists of a Chevy, two Fords, a Renault, and a Dodge, and it's another Dodge and a Chevy. And those are all the guys who have escaped the lap car mafia. Oh, look at this train! Look at this freight train! Steamrolling the 88. Whoa! Holy cow! Two cars upside down! Brendan gone trap. Red flag displayed here. Now it's displayed. Let's take a minute to unpack this. So, I don't think going into this corner, neither John Cena nor Alfred Hitchcock had any idea coming off the corner they'd both end up upside down. But Alfred Hitchcock ends up getting into the back of... there was a situation here earlier. Oh, no, it was just Dave Marcis slicing and dicing. Him's a turning, and then Al Roker bumps Alfred Hitchcock. Cena comes down into Hank Hill and viciously whips up the track. And then meanwhile, the 22 Bela Fleck is involved. There's a 6 into him. 22, 6, and a 43 as they both end up into the 24. And there's just a lack of space to go. And they both end up rolling. 02 of Rick Scott, major damage. Major ooh. Violent. Oh, really? The 22 had some violent wrecks in here. All these guys just lost out on several spots. We go on board with Alfred Hitchcock. As you can see, right there. Oh, what a terrible crash in there. And then knocks out our camera right there. Al Roker, a byproduct of a victim of these close quarters racing. I would say, had seemingly the most gentle of the four problems. Fleck, how is he this close to the rest of the pack? Good to the last drop. Well, dropping is what happens to the competitors. Oh! And there's no safer barrier there. I don't know how he's still going. On board John Cena, as you can see, he's turning, bam, into the wall, and oh! You don't want to see that. On board the O2 of Rick Scott, who suddenly thinks he's good, and then bam. Finally, second in points, Crow T Robot. I don't know if he picked up any damage, but he at least picked up some spots on track, so he's doing a bit of damage control. Maybe a bit of side damage. as he moves up from 32nd spot all the way up to 22nd. All right, now that that's clean up, we'll lift the red conditions. Anybody pitting? No, nobody is using their ability to gain service. And of course, Joe Biden's in the 5th. Understandably, both John Cena and Alfred Hitchcock are going to the infield care center. And understandably, both cars are done. Both of them are done for the day. There is no repairing either one. 34 cars still on the lead lap, the last of which is Rick Scott. We'll have an 18 or less lap shootout to finish off this race. Brian Wilson is your leader. Rick Mast in second. Scott Roush in third. Stephen George fourth. Joe Biden in fifth. Carl Edwards in sixth. Then Richard Simmons is in seventh. Tom Hanks is eighth. Geddy Lee ninth. Donald Fagen. What a year. Is 10th. Denzel Washington is 11th. Oh. Tom Jones is 34th in points. He's going to be like 35th after this. So he's going to be fighting with Morgan Freeman for this. Unfortunately, Freeman had a no good, very bad race. Okay, a max 17 lap shootout. Fagan. Denzel Washington is 11th. Iggy Koopa 12th. Marco Polo 13th. Kathy Bates is 14th. Al Capone. No, Kathy Bates is a lap down. Al Capone is 14th. Hut Strickland is 15th. Then it is Woody Woodpecker, Bob Ross, Hank Hill, Dave Marcis all the way back here, and Jerry Springer rounding out your top 20. Your remaining lead lap cars. David Dayton, Crow T Robot, Woody Harrelson, Harrison Ford all the way back here. Ian Anderson, Walter White, Bela Fleck, Al Roker, Jeff Flynn, Telly Savalas, Brendan Gaughan, Peter Perfect, Billy Mays, and Rick Scott. We're in the late stages of this race. We're going to be restarting with 17 laps to go here at Richmond in the Hardee's 400. Why would I say 300? "38 cars on track. Kathy Bates and Snoop Dogg are fighting for position in 35th. They're a lap down. Tom Jones is 2 laps down. That might be sealed up unless we got more crashes because he's got no pace. Cleveland's got more pace, but is he going to really make up this much time with this few laps left? We're about to find out. 17 laps to go. Brian Wilson with a great start as always as we get the jump. Joe Biden was going to go to the inside, but decided against it at the last second because of course he does. Tom Jones trying to come up the block and doesn't. But here comes Carl Edwards trying to get a run on the low side. Kathy Bates might be a jam car. She's going to sail it in. 3 cars under a blanket for second. Rick Mast, Scott Roush, Stephen George, George, the only one of these three has won before. Rick Mast has the most starts. Scott Roush has only completed 85 laps in his career. He is working on his 86th lap as we have 15 laps to go. Joe Biden getting caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. There is Crow! Crow is coming! Biden still kind of jammed up. Crow is coming. Crow could be cutting down the points lead. He's doing a great job of damage control. There's a spin in the back. Bob Ross is around. But Crow's going to get around Joe Biden. Oh! David Dayton in the wall. Oh, more problems. Al Capone around. Brendan Gaughan is third in points and is spinning wildly. Oh, it's the 62 having bad luck. Oh, and we're going to restart. Oh, 80. I'm going to say 8-lap dash. I'm going to call it an 8-lap dash. We're going to say it's an 8-lap dash. Oh, Joe Biden could have lost. That's a big break for Joe Biden, who could have lost so many more spots. Anyway, Kathy the Bates and Denzel Washington again causing an accident. This time it's Bob Ross. Denzel Washington is being called to the NASCAR hauler after the race, and there was something bad. Bob Ross, the poor man, just sent spinning. He goes around. Washington pushing. Harrison Ford gonna dinge him. Washington. Oh, he makes contact with the 62. Meanwhile, this is a side effect that's happening up here. Kathy Bates gets... Oh! Richard Simmons turns the 15. The 38. Ah! Dave Marcis will hood damage. What happened to Gaughan? He goes spinning towards the end of this. He's turned by someone. The banking? The banking turned him. And then... Oh, there's where Al Capone turns. Oh, man. Kathy Bates, Bob Ross out of this race. So is Dave Marcis! Oh, no. You hate to see it. You really do. Tom Hanks, another points contender. A pick between him and Joe Biden. Would like a chance. Just needs to outpoint Biden to have a chance at the points lead now coming out of New Hampshire. As the field gets mixed up once again as we have 10 laps to go. Brian Wilson, your leader. Rick Mast, second. Scott Roush, third. Stephen George, fourth. Carl Edwards, fifth. We're under 10 laps to go. Donald Fagan, sixth. Then the lap car of Grover Cleveland. These lap cars will not go to the inside, nor will they shuffle to the back. So we got essentially possibly a 6-car battle for the win, depending on how these lap cars will clear. Then Geddy Lee, Iggy Koopa, Hut Strickland, and Marco Polo. Very shake up here. Walter White, Jerry Springer, Crow T. Robot, Tom Hanks, Joe Biden, Walter White, Ian Anderson, Al Roker, David Dayton, Denzel Washington. All three of the Bernie Ecclestone Incorporated cars just about 20 laps ago were outside the top 30. Now they're all within the top 20. Richard Simmons, 21st. Jeff Lynne, Billy Mays, Woody Harrelson, Peter Perfect, 25th. Telly Savalas, Rick Scott, Bela Fleck, Al Capone, Hank Hill, Brendan Gaughan, Harrison Ford. Your entirety of the lead lap. Only 3 cars running off the lead that are not on the lead lap. 35 cars still running. We're going to go to green, 8-lap dash. Now, caution is going to have to come out this lap or the next lap, I think, for there to be enough time to clean it up, make sure it's cleaned up, and then have a green finish. Speaking of green, it's back out. Not the greatest of restarts for Brian Wilson, who's dominated this race. Rick Mast looking for career win number 1. Biden gets a decent start, but Crow gets a great one. Brian Wilson had a better 1 and 2. I mean 3 and 4. Hot Strickland doing things. Brendan Gaughan has damage. Well, it's about, I suppose, not all, both the Logan Cloud Motorsports cars can't have a good race. But for Carl's sakes, it's about time Carl had a good run, but it comes at expense of Brendan Gaughan, who's 3rd in points. 6 to go. Crow having an easier time getting through lap traffic than Joe Biden. That's going to help the points race. 5 to go. Rick Mast. 3/10. There is a Brendan Gaughan who's going to try and stay out of the way of the lead 2 or 3. Who are being the ones. Oh, look at this. Oh, Carl is right there. Oh, this could be all she wrote for the race. Scott Roush goes to 2nd. Unless Scott Roush is going to have the speed to contend with this 48. Could you imagine a win in your first start? It's happened the last 3 years. At least once. At Daytona, it's been a driver making their debut doing it every time. Now it's 3 laps, 2.5 ago. Now it's going to be 2 laps. He was faster. He's looking a lot faster. From 0.45 to 0.30 at this rate he's going. It's going to be a dead heat. Oh, he's right there in 1, but he washed a little in 2. Crow cracking the top 10. Oh, Scott Roush is right there. White flag. Is Roush going to win in his first start? He's making the move into turn 1. Oh, but Brian Wilson hanging tough. Oh, they're side by side with half a lap to go. Thrilling stuff. Somebody's pitting. It's Grover Cleveland. Oh, it's going to be a drag race, folks. Side by side. Who's it going to be? Scott Roush won it. Scott Roush wins in his first start by 7/1000ths of a second. I believe that is the closest finish in the Vernors Cup Series era. And it comes at Richmond of all places. Man, oh man, what a race. What a race that was. Joe Biden fades to 17th at the end. Crow will gain a valuable 18 points. Every point counts. Scott Roush leads 2 laps, I think. Wow, for I believe the 4th time in the Vernors Cup Series era, so a driver wins in their first race. And it's Scott Roush. And because he's only part-time, he actually DNQ'd, I believe, Daytona earlier this year. And now, if he just shows up, he's going to be in the All-Star race. Oh, Brian Wilson, Rick Mast, another great showing. Carl Edwards dropped to 10th. Oh, no. Oh, no. Brendan Gaughan, a rough race for him. Almost a great points day for Joe Biden. But who's the big winner in points is going to be Crow T. Robot. Seemingly a lot of the people. Yeah, pretty much everybody was ahead of him. Oh, Tom Hanks, though. Tom Hanks. I'd say Crow's the biggest winner, then Joe Biden, just for the fact that he's the points leader. And Tom Hanks. Well, no, I don't know. Woody Woodpecker's up there, I think. Tom Jones got the Heartbreak Award. Heartache. Headache. Something ache. I have 4 pings on Discord. I hope somebody's not really trying to reach me. I'm just... Maybe I'm amazed at the way the Richmond race turned out. Oh! 65 points the gap. Woody Woodpecker now 100. Oh, look at this. Top 7 once again are within 2 races. Oops, sorry. What a way to get your first start. What a way. 100. Look at this. He's already up to 55th in points. Past Yang, he's past KG, he's past Nathan McCain, who's got multiple starts, he's past AJ Jones, who's leading the points in the Kellogg's Truck Series. That's not exactly a no-name field. Good day, Grover. Carl had a good points day. This is your battle for frickin'... Oh, Tom Jones actually gained a spot. No, he's tied with Count Dracula. Look at this. This right here. 33rd through 37th is your battle for the top. Well, it was no. Look at that. It's not a. It's a freaking battle for 33rd, but Fagan is pulling. Fagan had a freaking run. And a heck and a half. 127. Hot at a great day. I'm sorry. I just can't believe how that race turned out. David Dayton's still leading the Rookie of the Year battle. But I think Brian Wilson's been the most impressive rookie. Oh, David Dayton's been able to get a lot of time. Next up is the throwback Southern 500. And then we always got the Melling Series tomorrow at Road America. We'll see you then. Till then, I'm signing off. I'm drained after that race. Okay. That was, oh, wow, that was a race. We'll see you next time.